Football, apple pie, and guns. That's all America. Today at the Super Bowl celebration for the Kansas City Chiefs, a shooting took place. One person dead, 10 wounded. Kansas City Fire Department Battalion Chief Michael Hopkins said that in addition to the person who was killed, 3 were in critical condition. 5 others were in serious condition. This is, of course, it took place in terms of in Kansas City. You can see people running. They are scattering all over the place. Guys, audio, you could see people scattering, screaming. There were news media outlets that were actually live on the air, and then they noticed people just begin to take off. And so what then was supposed to happen was supposed to be a celebration on the inside. But again, you see right there, one of the wounded, you saw that stretcher that was out there. Massive police presence was already out there for the parade. But again, this shooting takes place. Now, police say they have 2 people who were detained after the shooting near a garage west of Union Station. The suspects have not been identified, but officials say it was not a terrorist attack. As we say, thousands of people were gathered downtown Kansas City for the celebration after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl on Sunday, defeating San Francisco 49ers. So I want to talk about this with my panel. So joining me right now on Roland Martin Unfiltered, Robert Patillo, host of People Passion Politics, 1380 WAOK out of Atlanta. Also, Rebecca Carruthers, Vice President for Fair Election Center out of D.C., as well as Suzette Speaks, attorney and host, the Suzette Speaks Show out of Miami. The thing here, Robert, is very simple. And I said in the open, apple pie, football, and guns. What's more American than celebrating an NFL team winning a Super Bowl and gunfire erupts?
Well, if you're in any major city in the United States of America, this is now an everyday occurrence. What we're dealing with in this country is a permissive environment where now all the criminals all have guns at this point in time, and we're not doing anything to rail it in. We've had very common sense legislation that will require smart fingerprinting on guns, so that only your thumbprint will allow the gun to fire if you're a lawful gun owner. We've talked about background checks, which I think are a great idea. I think that also we should have serialization so that your gun is directly connected to you, so you'll be able to and tracking on firearms, because we have a huge missing firearm issue in this country. People, for some reason, believe that the people who are pro-Second Amendment don't believe in any gun regulations at all. That's not the case. But we have to have common sense gun laws that stop the people who commit acts like this from being armed, but also allow people who are lawful gun owners who want to protect themselves. Someone who was in a situation like this, if there was a good guy for gun who could have stopped it, we have to put laws in place that will protect those individuals and their Second Amendment rights.
The problem that you have here, Rebecca, so when you talk about, the issue of guns and trying to have, voting rights, when you got a Republican Party that doesn't care about any of that, when you have Donald Trump at one of his rallies just the other day, actually praised and was excited and happy about what they did not do when it came to guns. In terms of so I want to do this here. I'm going to set this up. So let me play you exactly what he said. Here we go.
Me has been a great partner. They endorsed me early in 2016, and the relationship's been a great relationship. And I'll tell you, they've been the NRA for me has been a great partner. They endorsed me early in 2016, and the relationship's been a great relationship. And I'll tell you,
we did nothing about guns. He was touting that. We did nothing.
It's not just the issue about guns, but it's the issues about gun culture in America. And gun culture in America is rooted around violence. We do have sensible gun owners. We have people like Robert who use guns in case of self-defense and defending his family. And then we also have responsible gun owners who use it for hunting. I grew up in an agrarian state. I grew up in Nebraska. There's a lot of avid hunters in Nebraska and even in my family. But the issue is the violent gun culture culture in America, where the first step in resolving any type of conflict is just to shoot, to show up in public places, to shoot indiscriminately, to shoot others and even the intended targets, it simply doesn't make sense. And then when we often see when it is a white perpetrator, we hear, oh, well, this is an issue of mental illness. No, the issue in America is violent gun culture. And until we are willing to address that, then we're going to continue to have mass shootings. I think before today, many folks were touting that, oh, well, the first time in 3 years, this is the least amount of mass shootings that we've had in the first 6 weeks of the year. However, we still have had over 70 mass shootings this year. So to even say, oh, well, it's great, we've only had 70 plus this year instead of 100 plus, in keeping pace with previous years. Violent gun culture in this country needs to be addressed, and it's only getting worse.
Suzette, again, when Robert talked about what laws we need to have, here's Donald Trump speaking to the NRA, making it clear that, oh, if any are passed, I'm going to get rid of them. Listen.
And when I'm reelected, every single Biden attack on gun owners and manufacturers will be terminated my very first week back in office, perhaps my first day.
Now, keep in mind, Suzette, for folks who don't know, today is the anniversary of the mass shooting at Parkland High School. That took place on this day, February 14th, actually in 2018, so 6 years ago. And so this is the reality. And the reality is Republicans will do nothing about guns because they are beholden to the NRA.
Absolutely. You beat me to the punch. I was going to bring up Parkland because I'm from South Florida, and we've had commemorations all over the Tri-County area, from Miami to Broward, where it happened, at Parkland High School, where all those young people were gunned down. There are still murals being painted. There were kids in their classrooms observing moments of silence. It's very real to us still in the South Florida community and beyond, for all the communities who have been impacted by mass shootings. Like my fellow panelists just pointed out, for 2023, 2022, we're looking at 656 total nationwide mass shootings and 647. Again, they're saying it's a decrease, but look at the numbers. And as you pointed out, there doesn't seem to be on the Republican side any appetite to do anything about it. So the American people will have a very clear choice when it comes to policy around guns this November. We have to always, keep that in the forefront of our minds in terms of who is presenting solutions and who has not. President Biden has tried and has passed significant gun legislation. We need to do more. However, we are clear as to what the other side is not willing to do, as they have aligned themselves with the manufacturers and gun lobby.